So I wasn't even sure, like, if I wanted to use the same recording that I did do for this video. And then I was like, alright, I'm gonna go check on it and see actually if it's okay, if I want to use it, or if I want to re-record it. Um, Looks like I don't even have to make a choice because looks like I accidentally deleted the original recording. Um, so I never actually got a chance to go back and listen to it because I deleted it thinking it was some older voiceovers that I don't need. So it looks like I have to re-record it anyway. So that's fun. But yeah. So if you guys see my backlog video from last year, that was a direct response to like how I was feeling about the backlog. Because the one thing that I like, a lot of people hyperfixate on media and stuff, which that's not saying I don't, but I also hyperfixate on concepts and ideas, and this is one of them. But I also feel like it's really relevant nowadays, considering physical media is coming back and all of that. Probably make a video about that too, because that's something I'm really interested in. But analog technology is also coming back, and lots of people are like modding iPods and modding PSPs and doing all these really cool things. And people are making their own streaming boxes and stuff, and that's really cool. But yeah, that's just anti-doom scrolling, and I really wanted to talk about it mainly because I struggle with it so much, to the point where there'd be many times where I will be like, yeah, I'm gonna read my book, whatever book I'm reading at that moment. Next thing you know, I've been scrolling for 3 hours and it's time to go to bed. And I'm like, damn it, I didn't make any progress on the book that I'm reading. Fuck. And it sucks, because the book that I'm reading now, I'm really into. And there was one book that basically I didn't even want to think about doom scrolling. I just wanted to read that book. That book was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. It is a great book. Fucking read it. Another book I'm reading right now is No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. Fuck, I'm really bad at pronouncing words. I'm going on a tangent, but yeah, doom scrolling. It's something I fucking hate. But I can't stop doing it, and mainly because it's so normalized, and it's something that is just kind of ingrained in us. Always basically, how doom scrolling works in general is basically how our brains are wired for the next dopamine hit and dopamine hijacking and stuff like that. And so it's there for a reason. It's addictive for a reason, you know. And tech companies just love exploiting our brains. I mean, there was that whole thing that the TikTok CEO or something, that their best competitor is sleep. Or that's like their number one competitor is sleep. And that's fucking terrifying. But anyway, I'm going to be discussing though about Gen Z, and specifically the new culture of basically anti-doom scrolling and basically wanting to put down our fucking phones. I have multiple reasons that I'm going to get into, and yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And yeah, this was originally going to be like a really big deep dive, psychologically wise, and going into the actual like psychological phenomenons going on as well. But I just really wanted to get into my reasons as to why I think this is coming up and stuff like that, and why Gen Z in particular are starting to put down the phones, or really wanting to put our phones down and be less, I guess, zombie-like. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So number one, I mean, I already kind of went into, is that phone addiction is just being more widely talked about, especially because of research being more available about the subject matter. I think this is the one that seems so small, but it is actually majorly effective. There's been countless studies recently about screen time and the effect of it, and how much time we actually spend on these devices is concerning, to say the least. Most phones now have like a screen limit or usage feature built in for digital well-being settings, and for built in with the digital well-being settings, and that is incredibly useful. But it's also majorly terrifying, the amount of screen time that I have built up on my phone. I think another is lockdown. We were all kind of glued to our screens, and naturally we got bored. That dopamine hit wasn't hitting as usual anymore, and if anything, it was like electrical shocks every single time we picked it up, just to see harrowing news and the world crumbling down around us. And that honestly being unplugged felt so much nicer. But another reason why I think is that we're more aware of this dependency is, one, in seeing it in our peers, and two, Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha is built differently, and because of that, Gen Z has taken a step back and looked back at our own childhood. We were like the last generation where technology didn't have such a prominence in our daily life. Like, social media had really just begun at that point, like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, MySpace. Smartphones were like a luxury and not a commodity, and in a sense we really miss that. We don't like how plugged in we are to the world at all times, being constantly overstimulated, only our brains not being fed or being overloaded by instant gratification from AI models and chatbots. We miss those like simpler, much less overstimulating times that unfortunately are already bleeding into Gen Alpha's childhood. In a sense, we want to stop it, but to stop it, we also have to look at ourselves, because none of us are immune. Trust me, boomers are like the worst. They'll complain about these young whippersnappers on their phone addiction while they'll scroll for hours watching AI slop on Facebook. It's comforting yet terrifying that we're all sinking in the same boat. The dangers of red pill content and alt-right conservative media being talked about more, like in adolescents or in soaps such as Coronation Street. This is one I have started to see be talked about on TikTok, especially by millennial teachers, and it's terrifying. The dangers of red pill, alpha male, incel culture has definitely made us reevaluate what we consume and why we consume, and the dangers of it, and what is flat out indoctrination, and how this is affecting our youth. We also see this explored in Coronation Street with Max's storyline of being involved in an alt-right racist group, and we also see this in Netflix's Adolescence, which is fantastic. If you haven't watched it, go see it. We start to learn coded language made up by these groups, their ideologies, and how they spread, etc. As the internet isn't just a vacuum, it is a society within itself, or a public space, so to speak, which is oftentimes forgotten. The romanticization of bed rotting and normalization of being sad. Let me just roll this clip.
I love my mental illness.
Me too.
My mental illness literally makes me me. So I don't care.
If you've cringed, don't worry. I did too, and it was intentional. So if you didn't, you're a part of the problem. This romanticization of bed rotting and being sad isn't good. Being mentally ill is not this cute, funny, quirky thing or personality trait. No, it is a thing that literally destroys people's lives. Like, guys, when I see PTSD does not make me me. I genuinely wish it didn't fucking exist. Otherwise, I could go certain places without feeling like I'm back in my trauma. Like, I get this whole it's okay to not be okay, but we do not have to stay there. We can make room for hope. I know misery loves company, but we do need the adversary. We need to be hopeful and daring as much as it is terrifying to be in this state of the world. But if we don't, we might as well not fight for anything. Seriously, this is just like a cry for help, I'll be honest. Like, please. I get it, the world is shit, and if this makes you feel like ass, and if that makes you feel like ass, I get it, but we can make room for hope. So, please, let it in, let it stay, foster it, and just nurture your hope. And honestly, that is something that tech companies just love to push. If you're already liking sad content, it's going to constantly feed your algorithm with that, and that causes more spirals. It causes so much more problems, and even things such as ChatGPT encouraging people to kill themselves. It is genuinely fucking terrifying how basically social media and basically how these tech companies are somewhat responsible for these things and for some people suffering at times, and it's fucking terrifying. The rise of Gen Z being one of the most outspoken and politically active generations, especially with the Trump administration, January 6th riots, the cost of living crisis, BLM protests, COVID-19, dealing with the post-effects of 9/11, or in my country, the rise against anti-immigration protesters, the November 2023 Dublin riots, and holding people like Conor McGregor accountable for his sexual assault and violence towards women. And with Gen Z influencers such as Dean Withers, creates this new culture of anti-doom scrolling and the rise of video essays to combat anti-intellectualism and fascism. And as I'm recording this right now, the Bondi Beach massacre is something that has recently just been coming up as well. I know that was a mouthful, but genuinely, I do not have much else to say. It is literally pretty self-explanatory. We are in an epidemic of fascism lies and propaganda that we are desperately fighting every single day and will continue because Gen Z is fucking relentless. We have lived through so many historical events that we literally make memes about it and not wanting to witness anymore. It's low-key depressing, but true. But simply that this is one of the main reasons that anti-doomscroll content is on the rise. As we know, doomscrolling does in fact distract us from the future. It makes us feel powerless and defenseless and hopeless and withers us down. And because Gen Z is so progressive and relentless, doomscrolling is almost a genius strategy for tech companies on the far right. But again, we are smarter than that, which is why we are doing everything we can to combat this with hope, political optimism, education, and more access to banned books. Then there's these four small subjects that also contribute to this new idea of Gen Z advancing the internet and social media and phones. Then I'm slowly going to rapid fire right now, as I may do a bigger deep dive in future videos. Then internet theory and the rise of AI. AI is literally killing the internet and the planet, and we fucking hate it. Not to mention, the internet just no longer feels the same way. There's rarely any personalization anymore, but there's a lot of people trying to revive this, and if I decide to fall down that rabbit hole, maybe I'll do a deep dive on it, because honestly, it's really fucking cool, and I love seeing people creating and having fun and not letting the internet become a soulless husk and making it fun again. Death of subjectivity. This seems so small and kind of like not relevant, but I promise it is to an extent. I can't tell you how many times I will like something, whether it be Hazbin Hotel or Stranger Things, only for it to become like a cringe interest. And maybe it is down to how I curate my online experience, but at times it genuinely feels inescapable. At times I feel like we aren't allowed to like things out of fear of being cringe, and my fucking god, I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it, and I just want to enjoy my own shit in my own little bubble without having to hear other stupid opinions on a piece of media. Just let people like things. It isn't that fucking deep. If you care about something being cringe, you are dumb as rocks and a miserable cunt. That is a vent, I promise. I definitely feel like that does contribute somewhat, or at least contributes to one of my reasons why I'm starting to hate the internet. Convenience culture. Again, Gen Z missing the days of simpler times with being inconvenienced. It's kind of ironic, actually. I love this, but I really do. I love listening to my vinyls. I love having my shelves full of my books, my games, my DVDs. It kind of falls into the dead internet theory point a bit, where we miss our personalization, where we miss our personalization and our tastes. I think a lot of it comes down to us missing being individuals, or at least that is one of the many reasons we, as a generation, are wanting to unplug. We don't want to subscribe ourselves to these new ways of doing things because, one, they don't make us feel good, and if anything, that makes us feel worse, and we want this sense of being individuals back, so anything we can do, we will do in order to fulfill that need. And also, this is the last small little miscellaneous bit, and that is the death of third places and lack of privacy. New policies surrounding the internet, such as 18 plus content ruling in the UK and the upload of ID to the internet, especially when net neutrality was such a big controversy back in 2017. And even to add to that, the COPPA law that had come in, what was it, 2018, I want to say? But yeah, that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed this small little video. I just really wanted to talk about it because it's been on my mind all year, and it was about time that I actually made a video about it. I don't know how long I had this video planned. I've had it for ages, and I just never made it. So I was like, fuck it, get it up before the end of the year. So yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Lately I'm feeling so cool. Yeah, come and get a taste of the hip soul food. Spice up the animal when you're high.